Welcome back everyone, I am the Depressed Eeyore, and this is Labyrinth of Touhou 2. So I'm going to try to get to that room that I missed before continuing onwards. And it doesn't look like I'm succeeding. Okay, I see what I have to do. Okay, I was hoping I could take a shortcut, but apparently I could not. Alright then. Also went ahead and leveled everyone back up to their whatever level they were before. Just to kind of speed things up a little bit. Not a big deal. Okay, so we actually need to start from the beginning, unfortunately. Alright. So the problem is that one gate down there. Go ahead and show it off real quick. It should be closed. Yep, closed. Alright. But I see what I need to do. I was on the right track when I tried to do it before, but what you need to do is not hit any switches. So that switch gets you to this area. It'll get us through here, and then we can literally just circle around and finish the area. One thing I did do off screen as well, with the skill points I had, Momiji knows Mind Boost, Ina now knows Mag Boost, and I think that's it. Yeah. Also, Kogosa has maxed out her primary attack, so that's taken care of. I might consider go ahead and giving Parsi the attack skill as well, and just buff up her attack. That way she can benefit essentially all of her skills instead of just a few. But I'll worry about that later. So yeah, now we can get over here. Ugh, it's way too freaking hot around here. That was abrupt, yet somehow expected. It's hot enough to warrant spending on something to blunt the heat when we go back to the village for today. When we actually go back, it will be quite cool thanks to the shade of the great tree though. Can't we just let this great tree remain for a little while longer? We'll deal with it when the colder seasons comes. Let's leave it around for the summer. Oh Marissa, you know that. What? Wait, what the? What was that flash of heat? It came from pretty close by. Over here, let's go. Boom! Squeeze and kaboom! Ha ha ha! One more time, kaboom! Oh boy, I knew it. That's flying. It looks like she's playing around by reducing these monsters to cinders. Ah! A swarm of incinerated enemies at the floor below. That must have been Flan's handiwork. Marissa, Romelia, you knew it but didn't say so, huh? I wasn't trying to hide it or anything. There was no solid proof, so I didn't mention it. That's all. Did she set your pants on fire too, you liar? No point hiding anything now. Flan, what are you doing here? My, if it isn't my dear sister. My, if it isn't my dear, heartless sister who left me behind while she went out on a fun and exciting picnic. You don't need to repeat yourself. It's important, so I had to. My, if it isn't my dear sister who leaves her own sister at the mansion while she has fun. I get it already, I apologize for that, okay? So, what are you even doing here? My, can't you tell by looking? I'm having lots of fun with a picnic. This kind of picnic looks like one you'd find in hell. Honestly, this is why I didn't want to bring you along. I'm sure you're well aware of it yourself. I could have understood that if you at least told me, but you just went off with everyone else and had your fun without even uttering a single word. That was what I wasn't able to stomach. That's why I went on my own picnic. After all, my dear sister doesn't care about me enough to even say something before she leaves me behind, as if you care what I'm doing or where I am. I told you, that's not it. Stop swinging around your I can never pronounce that. Levitian. And listen to me already. I can see the ending, and it's filled with Danmaku. It'll really come true if you say it like that. I don't care, you idiot big sister. Did you just call me an idiot? Never mind that. Just calm down and listen to me. Don't wanna... Big sister's an idiot, an idiot, an idiot! Wait, stop right there. Jeez. And there Flan goes. How did it turn out this way? Probably when her family and close servant all went out on a picnic and left her behind, I'd imagine. But just look at this cremated object that used to be one of Flan's enemies. If we brought her along, it wouldn't have been a picnic at all. You're missing Marissa's point. Whatever your reasons may be, excluding someone out is always going to make that person angry. What could have Flan gone off to? You worried? Of course I am. I'm worried about Flan herself, and worried about whatever she's going to get herself up to here. That second one worries me too. Same here, especially since she's pretty pissed off. We should look for Flan as soon as possible. Honestly, Ramilia, you really should learn. Tell that to Flan. Alright. I believe that adds another area we can go to. Well, once we actually get enough achievements, which... How many achievements do we have? We need one more achievement. Which we would get if we actually killed enough FOEs. But that ain't happening anytime soon. Alright, let's continue onwards. And there's still one more boss on this floor. Well, actually, there's two bosses on this floor that we need to fight, but one of them we're not going to be able to fight anytime soon, and the other one, well, it's probably blocking our way to the next floor. Actually, we just need to do that. It's pretty much the only thing Kina can't kill in one blast of pain flow. Mainly because everything's resistant to dark, but that's okay. Because even with dark resistance, Kina still blasts through everything. Damascus Dread Shield. Strongest shield created from the strongest material, Damascus. Get Damascus Casserole shields by 32 playthroughs or spend... Okay, yeah, that's, we have that item. In fact, you're using it. I think I have anyone that's actually available to use anything else. I do have the means to make another Kazu medal, or whatever it's called, to get some debuff resistance. There's the stairs. I just haven't crafted it yet. I might craft one and give it to Iren. But those last two boss fights were pretty good, and let me actually start messing with the switching mechanic. And I've started leveling people a little bit more properly by, you know, focusing on the primary traits. To a point anyway. Another treasure chest key. I already have one. So, yay me, I guess. Level 50 required. I'm level 56. It's not that big a deal. But there's more treasure to find and all sorts of other good stuff. So we'll go ahead and finish up this floor. The next few floors are going to be a lot more tedious to go through. Not sure why I did that. Just concentrate. Nina, take care of this. Use that. Love machine, okay. Not that useful right now. Wow. Okay, Nazarene. I didn't realize you were that strong. Is that a checkpoint? Yes, it is, and that is a boss. I don't want to fight the boss yet. We need to get to that event over there. Among other things. Alright. I already know who the boss is. We should be okay. Just simply because of how we built our team. It should be okay? Question mark? But we'll see. Priest Crystal Ball. Alright, let's clear out the little spots I missed. And then we should be ready to fight ourselves a boss. And then die. Alright, let's handle this stuff first. Wait, there's stairs going down over there. Where do those lead? Not taking any risk with the ghosties. If they get an attack off, it's practically instant death. Alright, let's head over here. Okay, connect the dots. Ah! Rainbow and Marissa. That voice sounds familiar. It's me. Haven't seen you for 2 whole floors. Suwako, your clothes look all torn up. What happened to you? Yeah, about this. I was wondering about doing my best to keep going upwards when suddenly some dangerous celestial who was glowing gold showed up. Then she started swinging some sword at me. I gave as best as I had, but that celestial was super powerful. I figured I was no match, so I turned tail and ran. Ah, so those Damaku traces and sword marks we found on this floor were from you and Tenchi. Ugh. I was just minding my own business and she attacked me out of nowhere. I get furious just thinking about it. That celestial seems to have camped out in a place close by. I want to get revenge, but I can't handle her myself. So I waited for your group to come along. Ah, I get it. So that's why you were hiding here. Yep, so let me join up and let's make that celestial cry out for mercy together. That's a coincidence. We have quite a history with that celestial as well, and she definitely deserves a good kicking. Yep, sounds good to me. Suwako, let's team up and give Tenchi a painful visit. I was waiting for that reply. Count me in. Let's get fired up and go. Suwako, Moriya joined the party. Alright, and I believe that's everything explored. Yes, so all we have to do is deal with the boss. So let's leave. Let's go ahead and do our usual thing and take a look at what Suwako has to offer. That's just her hat. There she is. Alright. Status. High attack magic, and that's about it. Very low defensive stats. And pretty slow recovery. Has high stats, some high resistances to status effects, and that's about it. Alright. In the previous game, Suwako had both, she had single target moves that are based off attack, and then she had multi-target attacks that are based off magic. So let's see if that's the gimmick this time. Single enemy physical, Moriya's Iron Ring, has high chance to inflict paralysis, and the effect is very, very high as well. But the power of the spell isn't very high. This was like the bread and butter for Suwako in the previous game. If there was a boss that could be paralyzed, you would just spam this and just try to paralock the boss as much as possible. It was very useful. And it's kind of her main gimmick as far as I used her. She was also a really good nature caster, which is through Froggy Braves the Wait, where is it? Oh, she doesn't have that move anymore. Oh, it's changed to a different name. Long Arm and Long Leg. Single target nature. Nature spell that targets an enemy. High attack power but high delay. So yeah, this is... It was called something else in the previous game, but it's essentially the same spell. It's just a very high nature attack. Froggy Braves the Elements. Multi-target cold. It's a magic attack. So yeah, these first two attacks are physical, and these ones are magical. Multi-target cold can lower mind, and that's about it. And then multi-target nature can lower defense. That's about it. Actually, for this one, it's a magic attack, but it's calculated against the enemy's defense. So that's something new. If she gets speed debuff, it can be treated as a buff. She can instantly recover HP if necessary. Not that Suwako should ever get hit. She'll probably die. Froggy power. Nature damage is increased. Earth creation. If there are 4 allies in the front and the user is on the far left, the user's damage will be increased by up to 24%. Why would you ever have Suwako in the left slot? That's some ballsy stuff. And then there's the synergy bonuses with the rest of Moriya's shrine. Pretty standard stuff. Pretty much you would just use her for the status effects, though she could be a good sweeper as well. But we're not going to use her because I don't know if I've used her in a Let's Play, but I certainly have used her before. Alright, so we need to change our level. Level requirement is 50, so let's do some level modification. That got us to 54. Okay, so level 55 is good enough. Alright then. I could have leveled up first and then used skill points and all that, but I'm not going to worry about it for this particular battle. The good news is this boss is weak against Dark, which is practically my specialty. Alright, so we're going to have Moko, Kina, and Parsi. And hopefully we don't die immediately. Alright, let's see how this goes. How strange. My body isn't moving the way I want it to. I thought I was getting used to it. Is this the limit of a Celestial's power? Why, hello there. Your body isn't moving the way you want it to, That's music to my ears. That's exactly what we wanted to happen anyway. That's why Yukari, Hijiri, and us were breaking out all the guerrilla tactics on you. Tenchi, it looks like the Amai no Murokumo is a toy that's too much for you. Ugh, you all in your mouths. You don't look as lively as before. How about it, Tenchi? Wanna tie yourself up and save us the trouble? Don't mess with me, even with a body like this. I can still crush each and every one of you. Ha! Let's see if you can back up your talk. We'll defeat you and put an end to this incident. Alright. So she paralyzed herself briefly, gave herself heavy, and used up her defenses. Silence. So yeah, weak against Dark, but we need to do some debuffing first. It's gonna take more than that though. So got ourselves some fancy boss music, and Tenchi is practically the same as before. One thing to note is if you buff yourself, she is going to slice you with her sword and pretty much undo all your buffs and probably kill you, because I'll probably do about 5,000 damage. Which is why I didn't teach Mobiji that speed buff ability, Accelerate, because it would give her a buff and then kill her. There you go. Her defenses are still pretty up there, but at least her attacks are down. So let's go ahead and go for one more. There we go. We're getting there. 1 damage. Wow, that hurts. Well, it hurts Satori. But that's because Satori's buffs are all out of whack. Parsi, go in. Besides that, we're pretty much in good shape. Part of me wants to go ahead and just swap you two, so I'll do that. Alright. Let's see how you handle Pain Flow. I one-shotted her? Alright, I'll explain her stuff. Tenchi's practically the same as she was in the previous fights, as well as the previous game. She buffs up her defenses by quite a bit, and then when she hits certain points, she'll rebuff herself. And when she hits certain points of damage, she'll start focusing. And if you don't do enough damage in time, she'll do a super attack that'll do huge amounts of nature damage to everybody in the party, or everyone in the front row, which will probably kill them unless you stack a lot of HP or nature resistance. Or if you have Moko, I guess. But some things you could probably mess. Now there was a trick in the previous game where there are three stages where she would focus and then use the ability. But if you were fast enough, or you can just pound out enough damage, you can actually force her to trigger the next. If you get her to the next stage, instead of using her super attack, she'll just refocus again. And if you keep that up, you can just keep her in a locked state where she focuses and then just sits there as she charges up from 0 ATB. In this, I'm not sure, because I wasn't expecting to do 156,000 damage to her in one blast. She is weak against Dark, and I did debuff all of her defenses, but I wasn't expecting it to be that effective. But that was kind of her main weakness in the previous game as well. She was very weak against debuffs. So there's that. Alright. So that was kind of anticlimactic, but that was hilarious, so I definitely love it. Star of Elendil, Celestial's Hago Romo, Dragon's Whisker, and then some stuff for being of the correct level. Alright, let's see what happens. Hina, stronger than Celestial. Ugh, this should not have happened. Yes, how's that, Tenchi? Third time's always the charm. Ah, looks like she's passed out. Really? How boring. I was hoping to rub it in even more. Oh well, let's get the Amai no Murakumo back and call it a day. I had thought that a Celestial would make better use of me. Yet, those who are unqualified to control heaven have their limits. Did someone say something? Marissa, did you hear that? Whose voice was that? That voice, it was undoubtedly the one I heard from the subterranean depths. The Amai no Murakumo is floating. What is going on? Ah, I understand it all now. Another voice. It's me, I finally caught up. I'm here too. Looks like we reached here at a good time. Amai no Murakumo, you have become a Tsukumogami, haven't you? Ah, it has been a very long time since it emerged from the Yamato no Orochi's tail, and in that time frame it has taken in the fierce emotions of many humans in the midst of battle. It does fulfill all the requirements. What does that mean? It's exactly as we said. The Amai no Murakumo became a Tsukumogami. It is no longer just a divine sword, as it now has been given life. It seems to have been manipulating Tenchi in some fashion as well. An item which has manifested into a Tsukumogami would first aim to accomplish their role as an item. My, you too as well. If we continue thinking along such lines, do recall that the Amai no Murakumo possesses the ability to control heaven. As a Tsukumogami, the first thing it would be to undertake means to bring everything under its control. Which would be why, in its brutal honesty, it created the great tree that reaches the heavens. Oh my, everyone's here now. It has been a long time. It seems we have arrived in time for the finale. I'm slowly getting it now, I think. So basically it's the sword itself that's the bad guy here, not Tenchi. It likely targeted a Celestial due to their powers that resemble the gods. After controlling a Celestial's body on its own, or as its own, it then used the body to scale the tree in an attempt to become that which governs heaven. I suppose that's why Tenchi's behavior seemed to get more and more unstable as time passed. I see now. In short, we're gonna fight the final boss as a second form now. Not a bad summary. We should deal with it at all haste, as the great tree itself appeared due to the Amai no Murakumo's power. Overcoming the Amai no Murakumo itself should make the great tree disappear at some point. To defy the power of the age of the gods, foolish beings. Ha! Trying to sound confident after losing Tenchi's body. All bad guys are always boasting about themselves in that style when they're in a pinch. then they get defeated by the Allies of Justice after all. Don't forget to close with, "This can't be happening." You dream hopelessly of victory. Come, your arrogance, your insolence, I shall crush them all. Well, there goes Yukari. So we actually have the A team here of Yukari, Yuiko, Byakuren, and Shikieki, which means they probably replace some of my slots. Anyway, on my no Murakumo, level 120. We might not be ready for this. Oh, you took away freaking... You took my tanks away! Why would you do that? I wonder what happens if you're actually strong enough to fight this boss, like, right now. Alright, well... Less judgment. Yeah, take that! I can hurt you. I don't suppose you got some other moves you can hit. 0 damage. 0 damage. Shikieki is the only one that can actually hurt the boss. In that case, buff. And just give lots of targets. 10,000 damage. Oh, there goes the buffs. Let's you have some piercing moves. 1 damage. Cool looking moves. Ah, I missed. Concentrate. Well, that's about all I can do. None of my other attacks are going to work that well. Actually. Start of a Heavily Demise is a move from the previous game that was very, very annoying to deal with. Holy crap. Ow, my goodness, that was rather... You cheater, you've got way more power than what Tenchi drew out from you. The ignorant who swing a divine sword like a mere blade of steel, the enlightened who draw out the true powers of the divine sword, her position was no less obvious than day and night. Interfere no further, maidens. Mercy will not be delivered a second time. Gah, I thought defeating Tenchi was going to be the grand finale. Who would have thought that the Ame no Murakumo would become a Tsukumo Gami, and such a strong one at that. So, that is the situation as it is now, do you understand? Yeah, I've got it all figured out now. So, to sum it up, I was basically saying, I'm alright, I am no longer under his control. Marissa, please give her a good kicking. Sure. Ow! Why'd you do that? That really was what was happening. In what world is that true? The friend turns to the enemy's side. After many battles between them, the allies find out that their friend is being manipulated by the true mastermind. And now the brainwashing has been undone, and the friend joins hands against the true enemy. Ah, a wonderful climax for a story. And pretty much everything that happened in Final Fantasy IV. Marissa, give her a good kicking. Sure. Ow, what was that for? I didn't say anything wrong. Who's this friend of yours you keep speaking of? Certainly no one I know. Just ignore that part then. Being possessed and used to add someone's whims makes me really mad. I don't care if it's a divine sword or whatever. I want to beat it up. Let's take out that golden hairy sword together. You keep saying things like possessed and brainwashed, but you were totally yourself on the 6th floor, weren't you? The dual-wielding beautiful swordswoman, wasn't it? That was so you. No way, I was possessed from the beginning. I couldn't do anything. Let's move on to a more important topic, shall we? Particularly, how shall we deal with the upward-bound Ame no Murakumo from now onwards? Even if you ask, what can we do about it? Are you giving up so quickly after a single beating? Oh, no, of course not. We lost to Tenchi constantly, but we kept at it and emerged the victors in the end. We can make sure that high and mighty sword meets the same fate. Oh my, I am pleased to see that you have no intention of yielding. We shall be pursuing the sword on its ascension as well. Oh, you're not coming with us? We do not have sufficient information on the sword as of yet. I believe it would still be effective to act separately at this juncture. That may well be true. Yuka, shall we be off as well? Alright. Good day to you all. Don't be too disheartened at the loss. We should make haste as well. Indeed, now that the true culprit has been unmasked, we must stop it promptly. Rainbow and Marissa, be careful on your explorations as well. I think we're plenty careful already. Anyways, let's keep aiming upwards. Our adventure begins now, huh? Exploring the great tree that appeared in the center of Kentucky, battling its enemies together and clashing with the true mastermind. I love these kind of plots. Hold it right there. Why are you acting as if you're one of us? I'm not acting, I'm already one of us. What, you don't want me around? Eldest daughter, shall we leave this to Reimu and her group? We should be returning to heaven. Rejected, I refuse. Who would go back home and leave something so fun behind? Besides, you could expect me to run away after what that sword did to me? I'm a proper Celestial, wouldn't ever do that. Are you and your delinquent ways really an example of a proper Celestial? Whatever Tenchi thinks, having Eco leave would be painful for us, and I suppose we're already absorbed plenty of people. Fine, you can come along, Tenchi. I'd rather have both of you come along, I'll rather have both of you along than have both of you leave. There's some still translation errors. I knew you'd understand, Raymond. Don't worry. Let's see. Don't worry, you'll see I'm pretty good at this. Honestly, I do not know anything anymore. Tenchi Hinanawe joined the party. Also known as Hinanai, depending on what wiki you look at, I guess. Anyway, we got Tenchi. So let's leave. No achievements, that's fine. Tenchi's practically the same as she was in the previous game, but I'll go ahead and go over her stuff anyway, for those who didn't watch my other playthrough. Tenchi! She is a tank, and she's a pretty good one. So, low HP, but really high defensive stats. Or should be high defensive stats, rather. Her affinities are pretty decent, and she has resistances to practically everything, at least some minor ones. Anyway, let's take a look at her skills. Alright, so she has four spell cards, just like before. World Creation Press is just a single target nature. Violent Motherland, which is the move she would have used if she actually had time to concentrate and power up. Just a AoE nature move. Most likely you're not going to be using these two moves because Tenchi's going to be a tank in most cases. Sword of Hisso. Let's see, the spell can dispel enemy buffs, and the chance of triggering the effect is increased with the skill Sword of Hisso's owner, which is up here. So yeah, this is one of her pretty awesome things that really saved me in one of my playthroughs. Is the ability to remove buffs with this attack. Every buff, when you use this attack, every buff has a percentage chance of being removed. And a lot of the gimmicks of a lot of bosses, especially in the late game, in the previous game, was that they'll go to like a super buff mode, they'll just super buff themselves and then just start shredding the party. And I stayed alive by just simply spamming this every opportunity I could get, which would effectively remove all the buffs, pretty much bringing the boss down to a more manageable level. And then her self buff, which is State of Enlightenment, it pretty much maximizes her defense in mind, but it can inflict paralysis and heavy. The heavy's not that big of a deal. The paralysis is, since that's pretty much means your character just sits there. In the previous game, I know you could buff up your resistances and just negate that effect, so I think you can do that in this game. To do that, you're going to have someone just purify it off of her. Alright, her other abilities. Free from Worldly Thoughts is an awesome ability because it makes her tankier and makes the rest of the party tankier against physical attacks. So, one of the best affinity abilities, I guess, that's out there. Murakumo's former owner. Upon the user's turn, if affected by a debuff or an ailment, all members on the front line will recover 5% HP. That's interesting, but not really needed. But whatever. Now this is the thing that increases your chance of dispelling buffs. If you maximize it, you get yourself a 40% increased chance, I believe. Or is it? Well, let me look again. Yeah, it's increased. So yeah, you get a plus 40% chance to dispel each buff. Keystone Formation. If the user's in the leftmost formation, performs Form Change, increases the defense in mind for all allies on the front line. That's really good. That's what a tank should be doing, is doing Form Change over and over again. So every time you switch, everyone gets buffed. Pretty good. Unless, of course, you don't want buffs. Always rising and falling. That's just like Sanae's ability. Agra Girl. This is her synergy bonus with Iku. It's not that useful for her because all it does is increase attack and magic. And that's about it. She has affinity boost and resistance boost, which is awesome. She also has the stamina boost. You pretty much have to go and get her a defense and mind buff. So she's kind of the, as far as like as a tank, she's the complete opposite of Komachi. Komachi's all about HP and just being a sponge tank, while Tenchi has very little HP but has super high defensive stats. So she does really well unless she fights against something that has piercing. Alright, but I'm not going to be using her because I'm pretty sure I've used her in some sort of playthrough. Alright, so let's remove you. And we'll call it a video for now. I am the Depressed Eeyore, and this was Labyrinth of Touhou 2. We've made some progress. I guess that's the good part. See you guys later.